Supervive, the 3-team battle royale MOBA that's actually good. Don't get too ahead of yourselves, developers, please. I actually have a really good time with this game and I don't want it to go anywhere anytime soon. And what I mean by anywhere is game-breaking characters, major item changes, pushing esports, just that sort of thing. But I get Supervive is really niche and doesn't have a huge player base, even with the battle royale and arena modes. But the amount of changes that have been made since the initial beta have just been so dang good. And we haven't seen any of these aforementioned game-breaking things like characters or items or anything that's kind of like, it's pushing Supervive to be something that it's not, which is fantastic. So I'm really not worried that the developers are going to screw up their game for lack of any other better words. I have a lot of faith in them continuing to do the things that they've been doing. New characters have been added, new items have been added, and they feel great, and they feel just like a forgotten extension of the game that just wasn't there for a little bit of time. And I want to say that buying items and using items feels normal. Like I can just kind of buy whatever I want and it's going to relatively work out as long as I'm doing something that's reasonable, right? You know, I'm not going to go build max HP increases and Omnivamp on Shrike. Not that I play DPS characters anyway. This is a home for tank players and people just trying to have a good time. One of the things I like about Supervive is that I can upgrade whichever abilities I want to when I want to, and I won't feel like, oh, I should have done it this way. I should have done it this way. Oh, I could have won if I just did it this way. Granted, I'm sure there's a decent amount of bots in lobbies, but that just makes it more enjoyable and makes me want to keep coming back to the game because I don't feel like I'm struggling every single game that I play. Anyway, the poster child of most hero-based online PvP games is usually the scrawny, conventionally attractive DPS or fighter character, but where's all the love to the tanks? And before any actually-ers come into my comments, let me just make a point and move on, will you? Tanks need more love, and yes, maybe I'm embellishing my little point and leaving out some key details to help amplify my point, and doing a good job at trying to manipulate and debate this topic in your brain. Also, there's no rebuttal to this. There's nobody gonna be like, well, I think there are enough tanks and there's not enough DPS characters, because this is a one-side conversation. I'm talking at you, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's right, I run this show. It's my channel. I've been doing whatever I want for over 5 years now, and there's nothing you can do about it. You sit down and you watch. And subscribe if you want to. So what constitutes a tank in Supervive? Because Supervive doesn't really put the characters in a very clear-cut tank DPS healing role. And yeah, we can just look at people and say, oh, they're a larger stature and just have typically more HP and more armor. They must be the tank. Except for Bishop, I guess, which she's kind of just a girl with a lot of armor. So anyway, let's see what we're working with. We can pull out tanks from two main classes here, initiators and frontliners, and then technically there's two characters in a third class called controllers, which is mainly full of healers and more utility based characters. And since the conception of this video, we have wonderful news. There has been, for the first time in Supervive's history, a brand new character added to the frontliners role. We've always had two frontliners, we've always had two initiators, but now we have three frontliners and then still two initiators. So I'm really curious to see what they kind of do with the initiators. We'll get that in a second. But from just looking at these classes, there's not a whole lot of variety, which I guess makes sense because tanks are kind of a tricky subject to touch on, especially in hero MOBAs and shooters, because they can absolutely destroy the game or be completely unkillable. We're seeing that right now with Scion in Worlds, but that can kind of be said about any character in MOBAs anyway, so what's the big deal? Again though, tanks are just really good, so pick one or two and just really lock in. Go crazy. They'll never know.
Endgame.
Dude, they have no idea. They have no idea. Nobody hides in bushes in this game. Literally nobody checks bushes in this game. Oh, who, me? You want to know who I initially started playing in Supervive? Well, it was Kingpin, of course, because he's got a little grabby claw. I started with the initiator's role because I just love my boy Blitzcrank so much, and just, you know, I see a person who's got a grabby fist, and I say, I want that. Then I realize the rest of his kit is terrible, and he falls short the second he misses his hook, and you have full HP, then you're caught out with your pants down, no utility, the range of a freaking goat with no hands. You offer nothing of real value to the team, and then you just get stuck as a little punching bag. Sure, you can throw yourself around and quote-unquote take attention away from your allies being shot, but what real value does that provide? So let's be real, would you rather have a massive glob that's completely useless unless he hits his hook? Or would you rather have a pyro rat that just hits M1 and burns everything around him? Clearly the latter, which leads us to my next main, Felix. Now, I've already made a really shitty video on Felix over a year and a half ago or something, so don't watch that one. Go watch my most recent Supervive video. That's actually good, and I'm really proud of it. Anyway, Felix is one of the now 3 frontliners that I mentioned, and he just got a tweak where he has less AP ratios on his dash and his right click. Originally, the Pyro Pounce, which was his ability, his little dash forward, had an extra scaler for AP damage, and now they got rid of that. So now if you connect with an enemy, you get shield for that, which makes him more tanky and more sustainable in the middle of a fight, which is exactly what he needed. And then his right click shoots a little firebolt, which does damage, burns, and then used to do an extra like 200% AP. Now he just gets an extra charge of it, which, oh my gosh, I don't care if this is technically a tweak. This is a buff for Felix on so many levels. But let's rotate to the other initiator. But first, again, I mentioned this earlier, I wanted to kind of speculate on what could they provide in this initiator role, because we have Kingpin, who has a grabbing arm displacement and 2 dashes, Bishop with a rocket punching gauntlet to just take charge and push enemies into walls, stun them up, and then just kind of throw them around with her own little rocket jump ability, and then also a dash forward, and an ult that's basically just her punch forward but on steroids. So me being the uninquisitive person that I am, who's played a bunch of MOBAs and hero shooters, I've soaked up so many character and concept designs in my online multiplayer career, but I cannot for the life of you think of anything that would kind of fit this initiator role. However, since I decided to bring it up and I script my commentary videos, here's what I come up with, right? It's Alistar from League of Legends, but less tanky. He's got kind of a headbutt that pushes people away, and then he's got an area knock-up, which just, knocks up everything around him. I think that's pretty good in general. There's not a whole lot of like CC displacement in this game. I mean, there technically is, but it's mostly just like grounding and slowing. So I don't know, maybe it would be cool. I think maybe it would be a little bit of game breaking. I don't know, I'm not a developer, I'm just very bad at speculating, right? But how'd I do? Leave a comment on who you want from League of Legends and Supervive, and specifically in the initiator role. It has to be specifically in the initiator role. Anyway, let's get the elephant out of the room. Yes, Oath is like Reinhardt from Overwatch. He's got a shield and he's got a hammer, but I don't know what they did to him in the last like year, but he feels so good to play now. They fixed Oath. He's playable again, or playable for the first time. I don't know, the first time that I really played Oath, and I played a couple of games on him to, really give him a chance, because he is a healer and a shielder, and he just didn't feel good. He didn't feel right. They didn't change any parts of his kit. I'm sure they tweaked a little bit of his, damage, health, armor, that kind of stuff. But he is probably the best staple for a support tank in Supervive. He's got a great ultimate, Earth Shatter, which stuns things directly in front of him and then shoots a shockwave out that slows other enemies. He's got a really solid wall to stop and negate incoming damage, as well as being able to bash it forward. Then they slapped an AoE healing ability on him and put a ripcord in between his corporeal form and his armor, so that when you pull it by pressing shift, he spins around like a Beyblade. What's not to love? Honestly though, he's a perfect sleeper comfort pick. During one of these games, Connor was playing also a healer support, so we were just running laps being completely unkillable against enemies, and eventually won because if you charge up his hammer and hit somebody, they get knocked back, so we just shot him straight out into the storm. Oh!
She's definitely dead, right?
I fucking sent her away, holy shit!
There she goes.
Oh my god!
You knocked her to Narnia.
That was crazy!
She was on my screen 1 second and then blooped out.
Like, she got poppy ulted. That's insane. With all that being said, I will say I do gravitate towards frontliners because I just like being in the middle of everything and just having sustainability. Maybe I don't kill people, maybe I don't do a whole lot of damage, but I just kind of like surviving, providing a little bit of utility for my teammates to take all the glory. Bishop is really cool. I hate Kingpin. Fighting against him is stupid. Fighting as him is stupid. But if I am really just in my hook era, I'm picking Kingpin for 1 or 2 good games just so I can, get out that little itch I have to hook people. I just go back to the loving arm of my comfort pick hook supports. So let's talk about this brand new frontliner introduced to Supervive on October 21st. Her name is Nyx, and she has got crazy omnivamp, insane survivability and sustain, which is just what I wanted, but it feels a little weird. I don't know, you lose a lot of life, you gain a lot of life back, you do a decent amount of damage, but the weird thing is you do a lot of strange displacement. Your right click shoots your hook out, grounds somebody, kind of pulls them towards you. It doesn't go as far as Kingpin, and it doesn't ground them as long as Kingpin's does. Sorry, let me slow down for a little bit. The right click doesn't grant you healing. The Q spin around pushes enemies back and gets you healing. Her basic attack is either a held strong attack or a 3-hit combo. The 3rd hit on the combo will knock up and heal you a little bit. The strong attack will, I believe, displace a little bit and then heal you a little bit. Her movement utility ability allows her to go untargetable for like a second or two. This also allows her to pass through walls, and yes, this does grant her healing. Then finally, she puts her vocal cords through hell yelling in a cone in front of her. I've never really been able to do anything with this ability. It does a lot of like extra damage in the middle cone and then a little bit less on the sides. Despite popular belief, this does not have built-in healing. It just does a bunch of damage if someone happens to be directly in front of you, like 2 inches in front of you, and then doesn't move. Again, I haven't used this ability very effectively, so I kind of just forget that it exists. And that just about wraps up all of our real tanks in the game. I will say our honorable mentions from the controller's role are Hudson and Mercury. Hudson's just a really big dude, so it just looks like he could tank. He's got a decent amount of utility and then just shoots his Gatling gun. Then Mercury is also just absolutely amazing with a crazy amount of healing, crazy amount of damage, and she has kind of a higher HP count than I think the other people do. Don't like count me on that, but I've played Mercury more than all of the other healers combined, so there's probably some sort of extra tankiness in there somewhere. I don't think so. Oh, there's a jewel over there somewhere.
Oh my god,
see.
dude, I got the full jackpot.
Oh, I've been teleported. Hey, wait a minute. This was a good teleport. Hold on. Oh shit, I bumped myself back.
Oh, James did something good? Crazy.
Mom, get the camera!
Mom, get the camera!
Anyway, gang, I've got to get out of here so I can go play Riftbound. I know this kind of feels like a sort of lackluster overview video, but we've just been playing a decent amount of Supervive where I felt like I wanted to talk about it again. Also, I've just been really busy in general with work, playing League, casting League, talking about League, and also playing Cobblemon, editing Cobblemon, talking about it, and uploading it over to the second channel. So if you're interested in that stuff, go over. First episode just went up last Saturday, which means 2 videos are going up every week on the Overstock channel for a while. Oh, goody. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed your time here. I appreciate you stopping by as usual. Have a wonderful rest of your day, night, week, weekend, and I will catch you the next time you catch me.